Hello, I'm Christine, and today I'm going to be talking about all the books I want to read in 2022. It is already March of 2022, but I have a list of things I want to read this year nonetheless. It's just month 3. We've got a lot of time left. I've got an ambitious list ahead. You may be wondering, what the f*** are you wearing, Christine? It's winter. Well, I was bored of all my clothes, and I have this outfit that I could never wear IRL. Like, it's see-through. It's like I'm wearing nothing. Maybe I could wear this over a bathing suit. I can definitely get away with it on camera over pants. The first book that I'm going to read in 2022, because it is our March Booksplosion book of the month, The Rumor Game by Danielle Clayton and Sonia Charapotra. This takes place at a high school where Washington's elite send their kids. And it sounds like a thrillery, Gossip Girl, We Were Liars-esque story about how a rumor can ruin someone's life. As the rumors grow and morph, blazing like wildfire through the school social media, all 3 girls' lives begin to unravel. But one person close to the drama has the power to stop the gossip in its tracks. The question is, do they even want to? They're calling it an edge-of-your-seat social thriller. I'm excited. It's gonna be a fun book of the month, so definitely check out the link in the description if you want to join us. The next book that I want to read in 2022 is one that I've already read and I'm very excited about. The Golden Boys by Phil Stamper. A book that I already did want to read in 2022, and then at the end of last year I was asked to blurb it, which was so exciting. I love Phil Stamper's books. He writes contemporaries. I could read one of the blurbs on the back to you, and it's from me. I said it was incredibly charming, relatable, and heartwarming. You can't help but fall in love with every character. It's jam-packed with all my favorite things: romance, solo adventure, snappy dialogue, and powerful friendship. And it is full of all those things. The Golden Boys is about 4 queer friends going into the summer before their senior year of high school, and they're all going on these separate adventures, so they won't be together all the time and in contact all the time. They're gonna like find themselves separate from each other, and they all encounter some form of romance. Their friendship is tested with long distance, and it's so heartwarming and wonderful. And I, like I said, loved all the characters. I fell in love with Gabriel the most. I think I related to him the most. I cried a bunch reading his storyline, but it was so good, and I've already read it. Haha! Christine 1, 2022. 0? The next book, I have to read this book in 2022. I will accept nothing less of myself, and that is House of Breath and Sky by Sarah J. Maas. This baby is so giant. It took me a month and a half of reading like 10 pages a night to get through House of Earth and Blood. It is now one of my favorite Sarah J. Maas books. I have like 4 favorite Sarah J. Maas books, and that is one of them. And it was one of my favorite books of the year that year. I'm just very excited to read House of Breath and Sky, but I know it's gonna take me a while. I'm gonna get it on my Kindle so I can carry it everywhere, and I have the hard copy so I can read it in the shower. I'm very excited. I started last night and I literally read 2 pages before I was like, okay, gotta go watch my old book talk so I remember what the fuck is going on up in here. This is Sarah J. Maas's technically first adult series, even though, you know, we know that A Court of Mist and Fury series is very adult. It's got a lot of F-bombs and a lot of just things that are rated R. So if you can't handle that yet, maybe don't check out this series, but this is the second one, and I'm hoping to finish this sometime in the next 3 months, and hopefully book talk it for you. This video is gonna be like half things I want to read, half things that I've been already trying to read, and I'm very frustrated that I haven't finished yet. One being Cytonic by Brandon Sanderson, the 3rd book in the Skyward series. Like, I can't wait to read this. I have the audiobook. The audiobooks are great, but I haven't read it yet because I have to learn how to better block off my reading time while I'm writing. Because all I can handle right now, and I've been writing just all the time now, is 10 pages at night in the shower. And because I live in a community with lots of people with dogs, I like don't listen to audiobooks on my walks very often. I'm talking to people, so I've lost that audiobook time. I have to recalibrate my listening time so that I can still read books with my ears, but also interact with the humans around me. It's a whole thing. So I'm very excited to read this. I love the Skyward series. The second book, not as good as the first book, but still like fabulously written. I think there's gonna be 4 books in total. Can't wait. My tip-top TBR pile is so backed up. Like, I have so many books. I had like 10 books on my nightstand. I was just about to do nightstand. On my nightstand, no quotes, I had 10 books that just kept piling up. Like, oh, I really want to read this. Start it, put it down, get distracted, forget to ever come back to it. One book, though, that came out recently and I really wanted to read, I didn't do that too, and I'm very proud of myself. I'm already done, and that's Here's to Us by Becky Albertalli and Adam Silvera. I loved it so much. I'm so proud of these characters, and I'm so proud of Adam and Becky for bringing it home so satisfyingly in a duology. I loved it. If you haven't read this duology, I can't remember all duologies in this moment, but like it's definitely one of my favorite duologies of all time. It's so adorable. It's a contemporary duology about Ben and Arthur. They fall in love. It's so cute. It's so good. And look, it matches my outfit. I'm gonna have to do a bookstagram with it. Does this outfit look stupid? Oh my gosh, I'm so frustrated I haven't finished this yet. I know I'm gonna love it. An Emotion of Great Delight by Tara Mafi. This is Tara's second contemporary novel. Oh my gosh, what's the Great Expanse of Sea? An Expanse of Sea. You know what book it is. It's one of my favorites. And I'm blanking because it's a long title just like this one. Anyway, I started this and then I put it down because of course I was on some deadline and I never finished it. I could read this in one sitting. It's so small. This is ridiculous. This was been on my nightstand for too long. Reminders of Him by Colleen Hoover. This just came out in January. And I already finished it. I loved it. This is a Colleen Hoover book that I really want a sequel to. She's doing a sequel to It Ends With Us called It Starts With Us. You guys, there's a new Colleen Hoover book that's a sequel to It Ends With Us. It's coming out. It's very exciting. I don't know when it's coming out. I just know that it's happening and that she already has a book cover and it's beautiful and I'm so excited. Back to Reminders of Him. As you know, Colleen's books are best, going in blind. So I don't want to tell you what this is about at all, but it is a story that at the end of it, you're like, wait a minute, there's so much more story to tell. How can we just be done with these characters? You just made me fall so deeply in love with them. It's so well done. I just want more. Also, really enjoy the names of these characters. Kenna, Ledger. Kenna and Ledger. I just think those are really great names. The next book I have here is gonna feel like repetitive. I talk about it a lot, but I haven't talked about it in a while. And that's my book, Better Together. It came out last year. If you haven't read it yet, you can pick it up in the link in the description. It's about 2 sisters and their different romance storylines and their relationship with each other. It's a sibling story. It's a quarter-life crisis story. Like that crisis that we go through post-college or post-high school when you're like, what the hell am I gonna do with my life? I'm lost. It's very much figuring that out. And also, love. And the reason that it's on like the books I want to finish in 2022 list is because I freaking never finished the damn audiobook. I still have like 2 hours left on it. And it's because that thing happened to me that happens to some authors where like, you can't read your own book anymore. And I just want to know what the whole audiobook sounds like, okay? And I just haven't managed to get to the end because I keep reading it and then being like, oh, I can't read this anymore because I can't change it. I hate that feeling. And that happens to me when I try to read Ab now. Like, I'll try to go back and, like, look at certain passages, and I'll be like, can't do it! I can't do it! So if you want an audiobook, like, this is a great one. And if you do read it, or you have read it, thank you so much. It really helps the book and helps me if you review it on Amazon or Barnes & Noble or wherever. It just makes a big difference in how much those companies promote the book. So thank you. If you do that, thank you for picking it up. Thank you for reading Better Together. I've got a bunch of stuff on my phone. Like in January, I got a book that I really want to read. And I've been reading it like 1 page at a time where I'm like, stuck in a doctor's office or like on a plane, because I'll just go back to my hard copy book instead of reading on my phone. I have books everywhere. Like, I always will have a book to read, and the book that I'm reading on my phone when I don't have a hard copy is Finley Donovan is Killing It. And thus far, I'm only 6% in, but I've had it for a month and a half. I want to read this book. I've heard it's hilarious and great, and thus far it has been hilarious and great. So I'm excited. And it's about an author, and she's writing like a murder mystery novel, and she's talking about the murder and the setup to her agent in a Panera, and someone next to her overhears their conversation but thinks that she's talking about like doing a hit on someone, and slides her a note in her purse or something that's like has a name and address and a phone number, and like, I'll pay you $50,000, because she thinks that she's sitting next to like an assassin. After that person leaves, Finley finds it, and she's like, wait, what? She calls the number, because she's like, well, they're gonna pay me $50,000? What do they want me to do? We roll from there. Like, I don't know if she even, like, she must take it on, right? She must do it. It's a fun time so far. I want to finish this baby. And there's a second one I saw on Kindle. It's like Finley Donovan is doing something else. So the fun continues after the first book. Just like A Good Girl's Guide to Murder, another book that I finished already. A Good Girl's Guide to Murder are the only audiobooks that I've been able to blow through lately and have a great time reading. I read the first one, excellent. Second one, excellent. And I'm on the third one, and I'm going to finish that in 2022. I slowed down because the third one got a little darker and like a little sadder and a little harder. But I know it's gonna pick up because the other two were great. It's about this girl in high school who gets wrapped up in this murder in her town, and she ends up trying to solve it because her friend's brother was involved and falsely accused. Then she starts a murder podcast, a true crime podcast, and things get intense. I want to read Kate in Waiting. I love Becky Albertalli. What am I doing? Why haven't I finished this? Or Leah on the other side. Leah, you know the Leah one. I haven't read either of those. I'm behind. Last year, I said I wanted to read all of Victoria Schwab's books, which I still want to read. I got the A Darker Shade of Magic audiobook right before I started talking to all my neighbors on all the walks. So then I never got to read this on my walks. And this is like a fantasy novel, so I didn't want to half read it and like be taking it in and out of my ears. Like A Good Girl's Guide to Murder was easier to listen to because it wasn't a fantasy, and I didn't have to like pay as close attention to the rules. You know, I just knew them because it's on regular Earth. I have this audiobook. I've listened to like 20 minutes of it, and I haven't read it yet. Trying to give myself some grace, but I'm like so mad at myself for not having finished this book yet. And Vicious, how far am I into this book? I'm around like the 100-page mark. Stuff in it making me feel like I'm gonna faint. And I know it's like gonna last a page, you know? It keeps coming up. I keep freaking out about it. I just need to keep pushing through. I had to put it down because it was really like messing with my head. I don't know if you know, I'm a hypochondriac. And so when I read about things happening to people, I feel like they're happening to me and I'm dying. It's not fun. It's terrible. It's not good, and it's very embarrassing. It's just like when I read Tifio. It was just the first chapter, but I put it down for like 3 years because I got in my head. I'm gonna finish this. I want to finish it this year, but I'm just gonna give myself some grace with it, but I want to fucking read it. I want to read it. What else? Something Wilder by Christina Lauren. Oh my gosh. I just started this when House of Sky and Breath by Sarah J. Maas came in the mail. So I put it down because I've only read like 2 pages of it, and I really, really got to get a move on House of Breath and Sky if I don't want to be spoiled. But I can't wait to read Something Wilder. I love Christina Lauren. This is a rom-com, romance, comedy. That's what rom-com stands for. And it has treasure hunting vibes, apparently. Thus far, in the first couple of pages, I've gotten Yellowstone vibes. I just started Yellowstone. I'm on episode 2, but already I like just feel like that this is in that world because I just started Yellowstone and I'm so unfamiliar with that world. I'm like, oh, they live there too. Oh, this comes out May 2022, so it's not out yet, but it will be out in May. I want to read Conversations with Friends by Sally Rooney. I have yet to read a Sally Rooney novel. This has been sitting on my nightstand, one of the 10 books. Anyway, The Wind Blows. I love the characters in the Simon Snow series, like so much. I love the magic system, and I gotta finish the series. It's sad that I've read the first 2 chapters and nothing else. So I really want to know what happens. I hope I take the time to read this year because The dialogue and interactions between these characters makes me so happy. Then we have one last stop, which I wanted to read last year. Never got to it. I feel left out. Everyone's always talking about it. I don't know the characters. And this one I wanted to read last year, My Sister the Serial Killer. Also, pretty short. Gotta get the heck on it. Ooh. You know what? I know another one. I want to read Robbie Couch's new book. I think that's coming out soon. It's called something. I'm excited about it. And I really want to read it because I love the Sky Blues so much. And those, my friends, were all the books I want to read this year so far. I'm sure there's more. Is there a Cassandra Clare book coming out this year? Like, those are the books in my immediate vicinity. There's so much backup that I barely looked forward into what's coming out this year because there's so much already. First world book lover problem. I'm excited. It's gonna be another year of great stories. My name is Christine. I'm at XTeenMay on Twitter and Instagram. If you enjoyed this video, please hit that thumbs up. I will see you next time. Thanks for watching. Goodbye. This month, in March. Oh my God, in March?